A-section pulleys.
2 3/4
inch, yeah.
Yep.
Driving to a 5-inch.
Hang on. Pulley.
Yeah.
Yep. Driving to
a 5-inch pulley.
Yep. 5-inch pulley.
And there's an 8-inch pulley. Driving to a 4-inch pulley.
9-inch pulley driven to a 9-inch.
A 4-inch, an 8-inch to a 4-inch.
Yep. Pulley. Yep.
And a 9-inch driven to a 4.5 on the alternator.
4.5 on the alternator. So 9-inch pulley to a 4.5-inch on the alternator.
Yeah.
There you go, fellas. So did you say that Chaz didn't want to give you anything away? There you go.
Now, the revs of this motor, according to the manufacturer, is 1430.
1430 revs.
And if you calculate that all out, you'll come at 3,146 on the alternator.
Which will be just over 50 hertz.
Yeah, but they told me that to drive it at least 0.3 or they told me always to drive it higher than the 3,000 revs.
Now we don't know what this weighs, but I'd say, but guessing probably about 4 kilos, 5 or a bit more
than that.
About 7 kilos.
I would say that Flywheel would weigh in the vicinity of
10 to 20 kilos.
Yeah, it'd be closer to 10 to 20.
So say as a base, but say it's more plausible to say 10 instead of 20, or 10. It's about 10 kilos.
10 kilo.
But that's how you can experiment from there.
As I said in that letter, that my pulley ended up 72 inches thick, there's 6 layers of 12 mil custom board, right?
Yep. 6 layers of
12 mil custom board, right?
12 mil custom, yep.
Which is 72, right?
So that's a 2 3/4
That's a 2
pulley.
3/4. I had a 3-inch pulley on there, then I changed it to a 4.5. But with the 4.5, because a lot of people say the bigger the pulley, the easier it is to spin. Well, that is in one sense, that's true. But in another sense, it doesn't allow for too much wind up. You know, you can overload the system with a big pulley because the belt itself requires that much traction, you know. It's hard to loosen that sort of... Whereas this, I can get that to spin in the belt, as you've seen it, without doing any damage to the motor. Not exactly doing damage, but I don't want the motor overloading while I'm trying to build it up.
Yeah, that's a lot more simpler, Chaz.
What you can also do is you can have permanent tension on there and use a variable frequency drive.
That's another thing.
So you start off 1 hertz, 2 hertz, 3 hertz, up to 50 hertz.
There's better ways of doing it.
100 hertz.
There probably is.
We've got
200 hertz.
I'm only experimenting with this. And the easiest way for me to do it was have loose belts, like both of them are loose. But that doesn't mean to say, you know.
That's the clutch there.
And this, I just wind it up. And this little thing here is purely a guide, so as it tries to come up straight, I put that plus a spring to put a bit of tension. Naturally, it'll want to tip over once you get the tension on the pulleys, right?
Yeah.
So I just put that there so as it would lift up. So
that's not doing anything, Chaz.
That's doing nothing.
Maybe that'll add to some centrifugal force.
Oh, well, it probably adds a little bit.